Most golfers are going to experience back pain at some point in their career. That may be you right now. I'm Dr. Jody Freedman, a chiropractor at Willowbrook Chiropractic, and I'm here at Langley Golf Academy with Tyler Roop, Director of Instruction. And today we're going to talk about things you can do to be able to prevent low back pain when you are golfing. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming here.
So in our office, we see lots of low back pain associated with golf. Is that what you see inside your practice as well?
Sure, 100%. Probably the most common injury we see, or I would say common discomfort that students feel when they're out here taking a golf lesson.
For sure. And do you see, I mean, when you're looking at your clients, do you see, are there some mistakes that they're making in their swing or something they're doing in their process that maybe is contributing to that back pain?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few common faults we'll see. Early extension's a big word that kind of gets thrown around.
Okay.
That can cause some lower back pain. Staying kind of in flexion when we're rotating can create a lot of pain. There's also just some mobility issues, right? And that's when we send people to come see you to kind of get fixed up, get the spine realigned a little bit, and that helps them free up and move a little bit better so that they can swing a club a little better and pain-free, obviously.
For sure. And I think a lot of people think of low back pain, that it must be just their low back that's the issue. But oftentimes we're seeing that really it's tight hips,
Sure.
It's tight upper back that really is contributing. Do you see that again with the swing as well?
Absolutely, right? There's always some compensations that are sometimes taking place. There's maybe an injury or tightness already that's making something else having to overwork or compensate, and then we get injury because of that. So I would 100% agree on that.
For sure. So you mentioned a few things inside the swing that you think is that could be errors.
Sure.
Would you mind showing us what that means? Those couple things. Then?
Yeah, for sure. My first one I mentioned was early extension. So, I mean, there's many reasons that might cause early extension, but that early extension could absolutely create some lower back pain. So when we're moving into the golf ball and my hips start moving in towards the ball this direction, and they kind of stall out, that kind of extension and leaning backwards while I'm trying to rotate can create a lot of pain and tweaks in our lower back. The other being in our backswing, when we start loading into the backswing, if I allow myself to stay in this kind of flex state in my hips and I'm trying to rotate against that, that's also where I can start feeling some lower back pain. Or instead, where we want to kind of get out of that, allow our T-spine to extend, and that way we can free up that lower back a little bit more.
For sure. And again, it comes back to that hip mobility, it comes back to that upper back mobility to be able to save the low back, because of course the low back is supposed to flex and extend back and forth, and when we ask it to rotate too much, then what ends up happening is pain, and then people see me
Sure.
and then we have to fix them up. But of course, if they can see someone like yourself or any of your other golf pros, make some corrections inside their swings so that they're not having the same problem happen over and over again. So in terms of, you mentioned a couple things here, but what kinds of corrections do you see, sort of like, again, the most common things you're seeing in terms of simple things that people can do to be able to correct their swing to make it so that it's less likely to have back pain? Yeah,
I mean, like I said, there's so many different variables out there as to why there may be early extending or staying flexed in the backswing. Early extension is a little bit of a tougher one just because like I said, there's so many different variables there. But if I kind of focus on that backswing one when we're staying in flexion and rotating, to kind of get out of that, simply just grabbing a band, putting it underneath our left foot, start pulling it upwards towards the sky so we start getting that really big stretch going back versus staying low and not getting any stretch. That's a really nice way to start learning how we're rotating and extending in that backswing.
For sure. And again, when I'm talking with my patients on my end of things is we're treating their low back, we're getting better mobility inside the low back, but also trying to get better mobility in the hips and the upper back. And again, that can go a long way in terms of actually enabling them to do the things that you're wanting them to do.
Sure.
At that. So, and then what about warm up? Do you find like the warm up is an essential thing? It's probably something that a lot of people neglect as well.
Yeah. So that's a big piece, right? When we're allowing our body to go ahead and get warm before we actually start creating these really violent motions of hitting a golf ball, and we're creating a lot of speed when we're doing it. So really good to start activating some of our muscles, getting some blood flow going, so that way we're nice and warm and can prevent injury. So yeah, big emphasis on warm up and how that can prevent some injury for us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for having me here, and that was a lot of great information for our patients.
Sure. Thank you.
Again, if you need some help with your golf swing, Tyler's the guy to see, or any of his other instructors. If you're having back pain and that's preventing you from golf, myself or Dr. Robin Armstrong at Willowbrook Chiropractic, we're always happy to help.